Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make a shirt dress and also fixing of the collar. I'm going to head to fold my fabric into 4, leaving an allowance for where the button is going to stay. Okay, so you want to leave an allowance for your front button. The first thing I'm going to do is take out the length of this dress. So the length of my dress is 38 inches. Then I'm also going to be adding half an inch allowance that I'm going to use to fold the ends of this dress. The next thing I'm going to do now is take my neck measurements, and from the place where you folded your fabric you want to go in by 3.2 inches, and from the button allowance side you want to come down by 1.5 inches. And I came down by 1.5 inches because this is going to have a collar, okay, so it doesn't have to go so deep. So for the shoulder, I'm going to place my tape rule from the folded part and take my shoulder measurement. Right there, I'll come down by 1 inch for our shoulder slope and connect it right back to my neck width. Then now I'm going to take the armhole measurement, which is your bust, divided by 6 plus 1.5. I'm also going in to make sure that it is at the same length with my shoulder. It wasn't, so I went ahead to adjust it. Then I'm going to connect it right back to the place where I came down for my shoulder slope to form my armhole. Then I'll go ahead and rule a line there, which is going to serve as our chest line. The next thing I'm going to do now is take the middle of my armhole. Then right there where I marked the middle, I'm going to go in by half an inch. And also at my chest line, I'm going to take the quarter of my bust measurement. Then I'm going to connect these points together to form my armhole curve. And so now we're going to go in to take our vertical measurements. Here I'm taking from my shoulder to my bust point 11 inches, my under bust point 15 inches, to my waist 18 inches. Then I will take from my waist to my hip, which is 9 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do now is take my horizontal measurements or my round measurements. So I'm going in now to take the quarter of my bust and also adding my stitching allowance also. I am also taking the quarter of my underbust, adding my stitching allowance. Right there for my waist, I am taking the quarter of my waist measurement, adding my stitching allowance, and also for my hip, I will do the same. Then I will go right in to connect these dots together. Before you cut the neck part of this dress, you want to go in and fold in that button allowance, okay? You want to go in and fold this in first before you go right into cutting out the neck part. Remember, the back pattern doesn't have this deep curve, okay, for your armhole. So what I'm going to do is draft out the armhole for the back pattern, okay? Since we are cutting the front and the back at the same time, I'm going to draft out the armhole for the back pattern, cut it, then go right in to trace out the armhole for the front pattern and just cut it only for the front part of the dress. I am tracing out the armhole for the front pattern, okay? You can see me tracing it out, and I'm going to be cutting these on the front part of the dress. So this is how the back of your shirt dress should be looking like. There is no opening for any zip, all right? It should be looking like this. And this is how the front should be looking like. There is an opening where your button is going to be staying. So the next thing we are going to do is fold this part. Okay, you can just go ahead and fold it into two, and you want to go ahead and add an interfacing on one side, the side where your buttonholes are going to be staying. All right, you want to go ahead and put an interfacing there before folding it in, and then you can leave the other side where just the buttons are going to be stitched, and then run a straight stitch. You can see I've already gone ahead to do mine. You can see how neat it looks. All right, I'm going in to pin these my button areas together just so I can hold this my front part of the shirt dress in place, and then go ahead and shape it out with the back of the shirt dress. Now I'm going to place the front on the back like so, just like this, arrange it, then first of all stitch it, hold it together by the shoulders, and then hold it together by the two sides. So now I am done with stitching this on my sewing machine, and you can see the way it looks. Then for our collar, we are going to be holding our dress by the neck like so. Hold it together, then use your tape rule to just measure the length of your neck. All right, so what I got for mine is 8 inches, which means the roundness of my neck is 16 inches. All right, so I'm going to be using this paper to draft out the pattern for my collar band and my collar. I'm going to be starting with my collar band. You want to go ahead and rule a starting line just like I did, and then from this starting line I'm going to measure the length of my collar band, which is 8 inches, and going to mark it right there. So from there I am going to rule a line back to the starting line. The next thing I'm going to do now is measure the length of my collar band. All right, so also from the starting line I'm going to measure 1.5 inches, which is going to be the length of my collar band, and also at the end of the collar band I will measure the same 1.5 inches and rule a line across. Then of course you want to go ahead and use a line and connect these two ends together. And so the next thing we are going to do is find the middle of our collar band. Mine is 8 inches, so I already know that the middle is 4 inches. Go ahead and mark it right there. So from this middle we are going to be drawing a curve. All right, so you will see what I am saying now. At the end, from one end of your collar band, all right, you would see where I would place my tape rule. From this end I'm going to go up by 0.7 inches. I'm going to go up by 0.7 inches, and then from this top end too I'm also going to go up by 0.7 inches. Then from there I'm going to be ruling a curve back to the middle of our collar band. So this is necessary just so our collar band sits perfectly on our neck. This is what we have, and you can see the way it looks. Then you would see that when you go right in to measure the length of this collar band, it is no longer 8 inches, which is the length of my round neck on my shirt dress. All right, you can see where I'm measuring it. I have an extra like 0.2 inches at the end, so I'll go ahead and minus that away from my collar band, and then from there I will rule a new end line, not straight, which is going to be in a diagonal form. This is going to be our new end line. All right, so you can just look at the screen and follow what I am doing. From this new end line you will go in by 0.7 inches, and from here you will rule a curve down. So this is to form that beautiful curved shape you see on collar bands. So you will see when you measure this, you will see that you will get exactly 8 inches, which is the length of the round neck on my shirt dress. Then the next thing we're going to do is draft the pattern for our collar. I am going to go up by 1 inch just to have enough space for the pattern for my collar. Then I'm going to mark the length of my collar, which is 2 inches. Then I'm going to rule lines across. Then you want to make sure that the lines that you're going to rule will line up with the place where the curve for the collar pattern started. You can see where I am stopping. You can see that place where you just saw my arrow is the curve of where my collar band started. So I'm going to be connecting this my collar and making sure that it aligns with that curved area. This is necessary because you would know that your collar is always shorter than your collar band. So this place where the curve of my collar band started is where my collar is going to be stopping, all right, making it look shorter than my collar band. From the middle of my collar, I'm going to draw an inverted curved line back to that area where the curve of my collar band started. And from the top of my collar, I'm going to go out by 0.7 inches, just like so, connect it back to my collar, and then rule a straight line back to that point also. This is basically how to draft out your collar band and your collar. You can see how it looks. You can see the way it looks. So I'm just going to go right in now to cutting this out, and please pay attention to the areas where I'm cutting, just so you don't make mistakes when you are cutting these out. So now our collar and our collar band is ready. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out on my interfacing like so. You can see I place it both ways and cut it out on my interfacing. Then I'll go ahead and iron it on my fabric and then go right into cutting this out. So when you're cutting this out, you want to make sure that you leave an extra inch round your interfacing. This is going to serve as our stitching allowance. Then also make sure that you cut out 2 pieces for each. One is going to serve as the lining pieces. So now we're going to run in a straight stitch like so. You can see where my finger is moving. Run a straight stitch and just leave the down part. You will leave it open. Go ahead and notch these 2 points and then flip it through from the place where we left open. So you can see how my collar is looking. This is a collar band. I'm going to head to iron this down part. I'm going to come right back to the reason why I ironed this up. You want to go ahead and place the pattern for your collar band on this your collar band and just trace out that point where the curve started, all right? So these 2 points are going to be the 2 end points of the collar, all right? Because the collar is shorter than your collar band, it's going to be the 2 end points of your collar. So you're going to place your collar from one end of the curve to the other end of the curve, just so it comes out shorter than the collar band. You can see how mine is looking when I was done with stitching this in. You can see it's already looking very beautiful. I'll go right into attaching this to my shirt dress. So this iron part is going to help me attach it neatly to my shirt dress. I'm going to start from the front, all right? You want to place it like this. You want to place the neck round like this, and then take one part of your collar band or your collar that is already stitched together and then place it like so. You can see the way I am matching it up from end to end. So on this iron part, there is going to be a line there. I'm going to run a straight stitch on that line. You can see I've already gone ahead to stitch this up. So for the other end of my collar band, I am going to be folding this right in like so, then arrange my collar band very well on top, folding that part I've already gone ahead to iron in, and just go ahead and run a straight stitch on top. You can see the way it's looking when I was done with stitching this up. It looks very nice. Our shirt dress is almost ready. So the next thing I'm going to do is measure the roundness of my armhole on my shirt dress. What I got was 20 inches, and 20 inches divided by 2 is 10 inches. So we'll be working with 10 inches for our sleeve. I'm going to use the remaining fabric here to cut out my 2 sleeves, and I will go ahead and fold this into 4 places just so I can cut the both sleeves at the same time. Now I'm just going ahead to make sure that the width is enough for my armhole, and the length is also enough for the length of my sleeve. So I'm going to use this right here to draft out my sleeve. I'm just going in to measure my armhole, which is 7.5 inches, and from that point I will come down by 2.5 inches. Then from that point also of my armhole, I will go in by 2 inches. Then I'm going to rule a curved line connecting these 2 new points together. So you will see that after doing this and you measure from this middle point down to the end of this curve, it is exactly as 10 inches. Then I'll go ahead right now to measure the length of my sleeve. It is going to be a short sleeve. Then I would also go ahead to shape out the size, cut these out, and go to my sewing machine and join it to my shirt dress. So guys, you can see the way it is looking very smart and very beautiful. Can you see my collar? Can you see the way it's standing? It's looking very nice. And this is the rest of my shirt dress. I went ahead to put my buttonholes and also stitch in my button. You can see the way it's looking. So guys, I hope you understood this tutorial. I hope you understood the pattern drafting for the collar and collar band. Thank you for watching. Bye.